Brian Lara used pot plants to work on his placement. John Wright glued his glove to his bat. Sachin Tendulkar dug up practice pitches. Tatenda Taibu cut the top off his bat. Claire Taylor used a hockey grip. Steve Smith was from tennis. Dean Jones would call phantom runs. And Victor Trumper turned the nets into a war zone to survive. The best batters in the world do whatever they have to make runs. We have told their stories in our new book, The Art of Batting.
Hello and welcome everyone to today's third innings, and I have Saurabh here with me today. So Saurabh, what did you think of today's day's play?
I was thinking whether we should start with Karun Nair's 50 or Shubman Gill's run out. I think those were the two most significant. Oh no, Chris Wokes also. But those were the two most significant batting point of view things. But we can start with what I thought of the day. I think England should be disappointed that India 204 for 6. They should have probably, bowled them out for less than 200. And India should have been all out, ideally at stumps, so that tomorrow, if it dawns bright and sunny, England are batting again. But right now, we have Karun Nair, who we know, the once he's crossed 31, he goes on to 303, and he's batting now on 50 plus. So we have Karun Nair, and we have Washington Sundar, who's fresh off a century, which could have been much more if only India had listened to what we all wanted them to do and batted the full 15 overs.
Yeah, exactly.
But we had a disagreement about Karun, so I thought we should get into that first. So you thought he has looked shaky at times. I thought he has looked good till the ball he has gotten out. So why did you think he has looked shaky?
No, so my take was not specifically about today's innings, but like in the knocks before that, and I think Varun also agrees with me on that. So if you watch him bat, a lot of the times it feels like he's only playing from his outside edge. Like he keeps getting a lot of these outside edges, or he's not in the middle of it. He's not looking very great. But whenever you bowl full to him, I feel like he's really, really good at playing the cover drive and just driving the ball in general. So I think whenever you see a montage of all of his boundary shots, I think that's when you see that, yeah, Karun Nair, he is a really good player. But I think if you see the entire innings at times, what I was saying was for the entire series again. So you think that, okay, yeah, there are some bits in the middle where you think, especially against high pace, I felt when he was facing Jofra, he didn't look the most confident to me. And compare that to, say, a Sai Sudarshan, who I felt looked better against the high pace of Jofra Archer back then. So that was my reasoning for Karun, but I do think Varun and I both kept saying that he kept delaying Gill's entry points whenever he was batting at 3. So that was definitely a bonus for him.
Yeah. But you can't, prop up your arguments with Varun. Varun ditched this podcast, so he's not, like, yeah. We are not going to. No, but I agree with you guys. He delayed Gill's entry point is true, and I think I agree that against Jofra at times he did look troubled, but the way I thought of it to myself is that when Jofra is teaming in, like 90% of the batsmen in the world are going to be troubled, so that's sort of okay. But yeah, so I felt again throughout the series that he looked mostly good until the ball that got him out. It's just that was happening a little too early in his scores wise, and this time this time also I think there was one or two occasions where it felt like in his 30s there could be a one dangerous moment or two, but then that nothing happened and he sort of progressed on beyond that. So now let's see what he does. What did you make of Shubman Gill's run out, man?
I mean, it was definitely not needed, right? That single was not on, but I can kind of see the mentality behind looking for the quick single in Test match cricket, because ideally what you want to be able to do is get off strike, and what that does is, a bowler can't keep bowling on a length if they know that they can the batters can rotate strike comfortably. And I think it was Ricky Ponting who was talking about how Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill have batted together for the Gujarat Titans, and so they know how to run well between the wickets. And I think today was just, he also slipped. I think another big point of this was that he slipped. So I think that also played a part in him eventually getting run out, and definitely it might just end up being the sort of run out, like the Rishabh Pant, as DOF says, Gill's run out will decide the match just like Pant's. I think there is definitely some merit to this statement, although this is much earlier in the game and we don't know how this game pans out and everything just yet. But yeah, definitely a very, very critical moment in the game.
I mean, I can sort of see the value of a single in rotating strike. I don't see the value of a quick single, man. I don't think it's the risk reward equation is worth it. Like, I see the value of a single. I don't see the value of a quick single, where
Yeah, I think.
you're risking so much, for turning over strike. Turning over strike is important, but it's not as
Hmm.
important as staying safe, especially on this kind of pitch. I mean,
Hmm.
the thing is with Shubman, I don't know how much our viewers or all of us remember the Border Gavaskar series, but I felt I mean, he didn't get run out there, but I felt this is exactly what was happening to him there. He was looking really good. And
Yeah.
a lot of the times I felt he got himself out with some strange shot selection or decision making in the middle. And that is exactly what happened here, which coincidentally is the most lively pitch of the series. So I don't know,
Hmm.
what does he feel like he needs to be more proactive when the pitch is more lively, and that's why he just get, because it can't be that he loses concentration, right? This is a guy who 2 weeks back made 430
Hmm.
runs in a test match. So it's not as if
Yeah.
he can't concentrate, or something. Yeah, he can concentrate for long periods, and he has done that at the domestic level, at other levels also consistently.
Yeah.
So, but he can do that. So I don't know, maybe it's just a mindset shift that he thinks he needs to be a little more, because the pitch is doing so much, so you need to be a little more aggressive to throw bowlers off the length, or do something more
Hmm.
proactive. I don't know if it's that, it's just a proper shot in the dark. But this is exactly what was happening in the Australia series, and
Hmm.
there the pitches were also spicy, and of course
Hmm.
the bowling back there was way superior to what India faced today. Today, I mean, they're lucky, that England wasted the. There were so many balls that were just sprayed all over, where
Hmm.
you just needed to stick to a length, and the pitch is doing the stuff for you. Like, imagine Josh Hazelwood or someone bowling on this pitch. I don't know how he would have survived. So,
Yeah.
like,
No doubts about that. I
yeah.
actually think it's a very interesting theory that you bring up about Gill trying to be a bit more
Mm,
proactive on spicy wickets, because if you remember, even the
mm,
Lord's game on day four,
mm,
towards the end of the day's play, he was playing a lot more
mm,
shots early on in his innings than he normally probably would. So I think you might be onto something here. I think we might be able to go and look back in the data and probably go back and see the matches, highlights, everything, and see if this really
mm,
has some merit to it. But I do think there is some some sort of a logic here. And speaking of the bowling attack for England, again, as you said, Josh Tongue, like, as a lot of people were saying, as I think there was one tweet by this guy called Jimbo who said that he's a bowler of great balls, not a great bowler. And I think that was completely, that really summed it up for me. This is
for
bowling today.
me, Josh Tongue was what, I think it was Graham Gooch who described New Zealand's attack during Richard Hadley's time as World 11 at one end and Ilford
Hmm.
seconds at the other.
Yeah.
And Josh Tongue was basically doing both in the same over. He was Ilford seconds also, he was World 11 also. Like, those two balls that he got the wickets off, they would have pretty much gotten wickets anytime, anywhere. Like, they were
Yeah.
really superb, very difficult to keep out. If you want to be
Hmm.
hypercritical, you can say maybe Jadeja should have dropped his wrists and let it go, because leave on
Hmm.
length. But the thing is, with that angle and that seam movement,
Exactly.
you're not going to leave it. You're going to be drawn into
Angle in,
play.
shape away. What can you
Yeah,
do? Like,
exactly.
most of the times you will play at that, I think, as a left hander coming from
Yeah.
when the bowler is bowling
So
around the wicket.
he was, yeah, so he was really good, and he basically did either side of those two wicket taking balls. He was completely ripe. He's-
Yeah. Because when
which
I
is
tuned in, when I saw his first over, I was like, okay, what is this guy bowling? Why is he not able to like just land it properly? What is going on? Is like I really couldn't understand it. But then later on, he's also bowling these really good balls. But even later in the day, he was still not very disciplined. As like he kept spraying it around all the time. If you probably go and see his pitch map, I don't know if it's up there on Cricket for now or not. But if you could see, like it would probably be like the ball would be spraying everywhere. That's what I would assume.
I saw a screen grab of his pitch map,
Hmm.
and I saw a screen grab of his that what is that other thing called, Hawkeye also.
Hmm.
Like, it is wild. It is just
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's
Ben
all
Jones
over the
tweeted it. I
place.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the pitch map Ben Jones tweeted, and the Hawkeye map also someone tweeted and said that this was me when I felt like I could, if only things had aligned, I could be the next Dale Steyn. So basically, you bowl that one magic ball, and then everything else is rubbish. But because of that one magic ball, you think you have it in you to make a career in cricket. Of course, see,
Hmm.
Josh Tongue is not that level. Today was a bit of an extreme for him, where
Hmm.
I don't think he's normally this erratic, but
No,
normally
no, I
he's
don't
also
think so.
not a bowler of two magic balls so close to each other. So it sort of evened out
True, true. It evens
for
out for
him.
sure. I think it was Ravi Shastri and someone else who was talking about it at the time that, uh, like, cricket teams often talk about process, right? So when they go back, I think someone was asking Ravi Shastri actually. So when teams go back in the dressing room, they'll talk about process. So England will be like, maybe we should have taken a lot more wickets today. We didn't really bowl that well. I know they would know that they got the wickets, but ultimately, yeah, not a great day of bowling from them in a sense, I would say. And one wicket was
I
Shubman
think
Gill, of course.
yeah, exactly. So they've basically the bowlers have taken only 5 wickets on a day where they should have taken at least 8 or 9.
Yeah,
So and then if Gill would have gifted them that run out, then all 10 they would have got. India would have been all out.
yeah,
So but
absolutely.
the and now actually we need to talk about Chris Wokes' injury. It looked bad.
Hmm.
It looked like he's not going to take part in the test anymore because unlike the Rishabh Pant's leg fracture,
Hmm.
if he has a shoulder dislocation or fracture or a serious tear, you're not going to be
Hmm.
able to bat also, right? You can't hold the bat if your shoulder is hurt. You can't
Yeah, yeah,
do anything, and you
definitely.
can't
If
bowl
if that,
obviously. So yeah, you were saying
no, I was just saying like, has there
Hmm.
any official news come out yet? And you know, what do we know about
Official.
what to what extent do we know about his injury yet?
I don't think there's anything official that has been said, but those images looked bad. I'd be very surprised if he takes any further part in the match. Like, I think DOF is saying you can't bat or bowl with a shoulder fracture. Yeah, I mean, we don't know whether it's a shoulder fracture or not. It might be a fracture, it might be something else. It might be hopefully something less serious, but still, if the injury is big enough, he can't bat or bowl. And that
Hmm.
means England have to take 14 wickets now with one man down in their bowling attack. Three
Exactly.
pacers, basically. Three pacers and
Essentially,
Joe
three
Root and
pacers.
Jacob Bethel.
Jacob Bethel, yeah, Root and Bethel, yeah.
So that's going to be tough, I think. And
Oh, someone
batting,
is saying,
as
is
what's
it
this
career
someone saying?
officially ended as a Test cricketer? Was it that serious?
Oh, I don't. I wouldn't think his career is ended, right? And even if it is a fracture, he'll recover
Hmm.
at some point. He will come. He will be fit again to bowl
Yeah.
at some point, even if it is 3 months, 6 months, whatever.
Hmm.
After
Hmm.
rehab,
Hmm.
he will be. After that, if he's selected or not, and all, we don't know. But he will be fit enough to play cricket again, I suppose. So career
Yeah, yeah.
ending
Let's
is
hope it's not something very
too
serious for
far.
sure.
Yeah,
It's not a
yeah,
good, like, it always feels bad whenever
Mm.
you see any player get injured. Like, it's
yeah.
just not a great spectacle as a cricket fan when you're watching. It's just you just feel bad for these players that they're putting in so much hard work and everything. But yeah, I mean that's the game, I guess. Sometimes it's also
Yeah,
like tactically it changes a lot of things. I feel for the teams, of course, for those individual players, they must be like. And we all know that these elite sports persons are very high competitors, right? They will be that okay, we want to play, but if they practically can't, if their medical team cannot give a clearance, then it probably feels you would feel bad for them. And then of course what happens is that the teams, their tactics would have to be changed massively. And the difference is that India also have three paces, right? But India have two good spinners, or at least two spinners who can do some sort of a job better than Joe Root and Jacob Bethel in comparison. So not great for England for sure.
yeah, definitely. I'm Someone is saying rumor in English media. Tarun Pratap is saying that it will be his last test. Oh, if it is, then yeah. But then it would have been his last test, irrespective of whether he got
Mhm.
injured or not. So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's not the shoulder injury that has caused the end of his career. It is his
Mhm. If
decision,
that
I
is the
guess.
case.
If that is the case, it is his
Yeah, yeah.
decision to
Age,
retire.
even I was
So
going to bring that up, that he is already old
yeah,
and
well,
most
Akshay
probably.
Dhawan
Eh,
is saying something. Yeah.
mhm, correct. already on the downswing. If it's a serious injury, his international career might be over. He's already talks of him not making the Ashes side. Also fair, I think, because in Australia, I really doubt they will take
Yeah,
Chris Woakes, or at least in the main 11, because
he shouldn't be making the Ashes side, right? You don't want Chris Woakes to be one of your bowlers in Australia.
exactly,
You
like
want
we
him.
know that his away record is not really
Yeah,
very
yeah.
good.
So,
Completely agree.
and I saw another comment that said Prasidh should have. Rahul says Arshdeep should have played ahead of Prasidh. What do you
Hmm.
think? Do you
If
agree?
Arshdeep was fit, I think it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because on this
Hmm.
wicket, maybe if they think Arshdeep can be good enough with the old ball, and if with the new ball he can get the swing that we've usually seen him get in white ball cricket. Although I think his county numbers are not great when he played for Kent, from what I can remember, but I've not seen him bowl in county cricket or much in red ball cricket for that matter. But it would have been interesting to see it. He is definitely one such pacer who I want to see, because I think I also have that sort of left arm seam bias, and if there is one good left arm seamer up front, it will be good. It will be good to watch for sure. So maybe from a viewer's perspective, it would have been interesting to see. But tactically, I think maybe they don't feel very confident about him. Is what I would assume. Otherwise,
I I just think it's very weird. I heard that he was in line to play the last test until he got injured, which is why they went with Anshul Kamboj.
correct.
So now for the last test, your pace hierarchy was Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj, Akashdeep, Arshdeep
Hmm.
Singh, Anshul Kamboj, Prasidh Krishna. And now
Yeah.
suddenly Prasidh Krishna has leapfrogged all of them within a week.
Hmm.
And the last test ended just 3 days ago, actually. He has just
Yeah.
leapfrogged all of them and he's in the best pace attack minus Bumrah. It,
Hmm.
I don't disagree with the selection. I think Prasidh should
Hmm.
have been there. I think, he has his red ball record gives me more confidence than Arshdeep's red ball record. I have
I
also
think
not
that's
seen
fair.
Arshdeep bowl too much with the red ball because
Hmm.
unfortunately the Ranji Trophy is not always telecast and he's
Yeah.
played it irregularly anyway.
Hmm.
So I have not seen him too much with the red ball. But whatever I've seen of Prasidh, it looked there have been moments where he has looked really impressive. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Agree
have
with
I
that.
have a greater let's say
Bias.
ceiling for Prasidh than for Ashdeep right
Hmm.
now. So I'm okay with with Prasidh being picked ahead of Ashdeep, even though I understand that this pitch, like the Ashdeep kind
Yeah.
of bowler with the swing and seam might be
Hmm.
more useful than the Prasidh hit the deck, but
Yeah.
I still think Prasidh has a role to play. If he gets it right, he
Hmm.
could be a real handful. So
Yeah.
and he has shown enough glimpses that you
Potential.
feel like there is a chance he could get it right. So you feel like yeah, okay, he
Yeah. No,
should
I can
play.
see that. Yeah, yeah. But
And
then I think and it's also about the roles, because Prasid is not going to be a new ball bowler, right? He is going to come in as first change. And
yeah,
Arshdeep, if Arshdeep would have played, I would assume he would have taken the new ball. But I wouldn't have had an issue with that either, because maybe then Arshdeep and one of Siraj or Akash could take the new ball, and one of them could share and could go as first change. I think that would have also been an interesting one. I don't know what the team management thinks about their fitness and everything. Maybe that could have played a part in this thing. And as DOF also says, to your point, Prasid at Sydney bowled some brute deliveries. I also agree with that. Yeah, I remember that test match. But in the same match, also, he was going for a lot of runs. I think when they were defending about 162 odd in that final fourth innings. So that's always the story with Prasid Krishna, that he does lack consistency at this point of his test career. But I do think that none of us can deny that he has the raw talent and skills in his game to be, go on and do well in test cricket. It's just that starting in test cricket for fast bowlers is usually hard. Unless you're like a Bumrah or some very great fast bowler, it's just a different story. Usually, especially for an Indian seamer, I think. Asian
you
seamer rather.
were talking about the Sydney 160 and all. I have no memory of that. The series ended when Bumrah walked off, right? So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, yeah, Bumrah is not there, then there's no cricket. So that series ended with Australia leading 2-1. So we'll play the rest of the test later when Bumrah is fit. So
Fair enough. I think on
so
that note, we can take a short break and we'll be back on the other side.
Ross Taylor couldn't see at night or when the clouds were in. Eventually, he had to see an eye specialist who would fix his eyesight. In the 2 years before the change, he still averaged more than 50 in international cricket. The top level of batting talent can basically see in the dark. That is who we are talking about in our new book, The Art of Batting. Head over and order your copy today.
Hello and welcome everyone. So I think we can start by taking DOF's question and we can then extend that to talking more about the Indian batting today. So how do you think Sai played? I thought he looked really promising. I also completely agree with that. I think I've been very bullish on him as a, you know, I think for him batting at number three in Test cricket, I've been repeating this a lot in our group chats and everything, and in whatever discussions I have. And so for that reason, I think to even today, even I thought he looked pretty solid. He eventually gets a good ball to get out, right? And maybe if he plays on longer, I think he's probably batting a bit slower than he could. But maybe we are just basing that on his IPL and white ball potential from what we've seen. But he's looking solid for sure. Even in the last game, I really liked his 60 odd that he made, 61 that he made in the first inning. So, and I actually have a look at his wagon wheel today, so he makes 22 runs on the onside and 16 on the offside. So it's not even like he's dominant more so on one side or anything like that. But I think that's a good sign. Yep.
I mean, he was batting so well that a pigeon flying across his eye line didn't disturb him. You know, he could still
Fair enough.
defend the ball. The only thing that got him out was that Josh Tongue ball, which, to be fair, given how the rest of the over had gone, he might have thought that this ball, he wouldn't have expected this kind of a ball from Josh Tongue, who was spraying it all around. So it was rendered even more unplayable by what had come before. So. But yeah, I agree with you entirely. I think he looked really good. I think anybody who has seen him has felt that he is potentially somebody who could have a long career for India.
Yeah.
He looks like he has that ceiling, that he could go a long way, and it looks like he has all the basics and all that in place. Okay, there'll be some technical tweaks here and there, which is normal. He's still young, but
Yeah.
he looks the real deal. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's good. But the important thing is, when a guy looks the real deal, it's quite important, especially in Indian cricket, I think, to have some of the runs or some of these sort of innings where he has spent time at the crease, he has weathered some good bowling, he has weathered a period of some wickets falling
Tricky play.
around him. Yeah, a tricky period and all. It's important to have that at the international level, because otherwise Indian cricket can sometimes be so unforgiving that you have all the tools, you have the high ceiling, you look like you will make it, but if you don't have those results of something to point to, then you might just find yourself out of the team for the next series. And then if somebody else does well, the next series is at home, then you don't know how long you're out for. It's just
Exactly.
such a it could be such a tricky play. So I'm very glad that he got the 50 in the last test and he got this, so it gives him a bit of a breathing space, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
Completely agree with you on that. Very, very solid player. And
Mhm.
today he also had another early entry point, so I think that was also interesting that
Mhm.
he was able to get through that period, actually ends up getting out later. And you know what,
Mhm.
today's match, whatever I was able to catch of today's game, it was giving me more vibes of the England series in 2021, right? The India England series of 2021, where there was a lot of seam movement, swing movement, all, like the ball kept moving around all the time. It wasn't not like the baseball wickets that we've been seeing where there are constantly flat wickets and we were like ODI sort of batting we are seeing from teams and all those things. This was like, okay, yeah, cricket in England is back. This is what I felt when I was
This
watching today's.
actually, the match this reminded me of is the first WTC final,
Oh,
where also there was decent amount of movement. New Zealand had gone with a 4 pace attack. India went with 3+2. That was Ash
yeah,
and Jaddu. Now it's Washi and Jaddu.
yeah,
So it felt like a similar sort of setup, and
hmm,
India had to bat first, and like I don't. I think they
hmm.
made some 200 odd in the first innings. What
Yeah,
did
yeah.
New
They
Zealand
made
reach?
200 odd in
Check
that
here.
game as well, and because the
They were
first innings was,
217. Yeah.
hmm,
So India is on track to sort of replicate that in this innings also.
yeah,
So it sort of reminded me of that. But
hmm,
now, obviously, the difference is New Zealand had all 4 bowlers available. England are not going to have Chris
hmm.
Wooks, most
Yeah,
likely,
and New Zealand
is
also
what we
had
think.
better bowlers, and I think
New-
that match, from what I can remember, was a bit very nervous to watch as an Indian fan for sure because the ball was really doing a lot. I think this was a very, very tricky sort of a game that, from what I can remember, like especially day one, it seemed like, okay, what are we watching here, guys? So
no, I think the ball is doing a fair bit here also. It's just that they
yeah,
have
I
not
agree with
bowled
that.
right, areas. They have not bowled it
Hmm.
in the good areas. That's why good
Good
areas is
areas.
important, people. Yeah.
Absolutely, guys.
So
Yeah.
they
I think we
have
can
it,
take
but
Tarun's comment. Sorry, go on.
yeah. No, I was just going to speak about Gus Atkinson. You can take the comment. Which is the comment?
Yeah, then we can go to Gus Atkinson, sure.
Yeah.
So Tarun Pratap says, you can see why selectors or management are picking him over someone like Eastwood, and his FC average is perplexing. I agree with that completely. Because with younger batters, I think it's not always fair to judge them just on their numbers because he is
Yeah.
only 23 odd right now. If you're going to
Hmm.
just pick a team by sorting the batting averages, you just pick the highest averages from Ranji every year. That's not how cricket works, right? Like that's not how domestic cricket works. And this comes back to my point on what I was saying about Karun Nair. And although Karun Nair is still a pretty good player, I would say that Sai Sudarshan has the higher ceiling. And when I saw him bat versus Jofra compared to how I saw Karun bat versus Jofra at number 3, I think that is where I could see that, yeah, eye test also matters. And you need to be able to see that in a player when there is a talented player, you have to look beyond sometimes just the raw numbers. And Iswaran, I think I have not followed him bat a lot personally because I haven't followed a lot of India A games or domestic cricket particularly. But from the numbers that I think I've seen, it's just that whenever India A go overseas, I think Iswaran doesn't get a lot of runs. So maybe that also plays a part. And he has been around for so long now. If the multiple team managements haven't been picking him, maybe there is a reason for it. So I completely
So
agree with Tarun here.
I have watched a lot of Ishwaran at the domestic level, India A and for Bengal.
Correct.
He looks amazing at the domestic
Hmm.
level. Like he just looks so classy, so good
Hmm. Yeah.
when he runs. So obviously at the domestic level, he has what it takes, and I have seen him hit some really great, centuries and stuff like proper carry jobs for Bengal.
Hmm.
Was batting solo throughout the innings with nobody
Wow.
else getting runs. And at one point, I think he got 350 plus scores in a row or 380 plus scores in a row, sort of
Wow.
in one of the seasons. He has been really good at domestic level.
No
He's
doubt.
if you, I mean, the interesting trivia is his dad has built a cricket academy, in Dehradun,
Hmm.
where he practices a lot. Where when the
Hmm.
Uttarakhand team was formed, they also made that their base, which is not
Whoa.
connected to Test cricket, but yeah, uh, yeah. But so he has looked really good. So I don't know why he doesn't get a chance, but maybe it's just that there are a lot of good players in India
Hmm.
in the especially in the last couple of decades or so. There'll be a lot of good guys who have not got the chances that they might have deserved.
Hmm.
Even if the team management thinks, yeah, in the nets or something, he has not entirely convinced them. I think in any other team, his domestic record is good enough that you'll give him a go, at least see what he makes of
Hmm.
it. Who knows? He could make the step up, but it's just that you can give him a go, but it's not unfair to pick Sai Sudarshan over him. It's not unfair to
Agree
pick
with that.
Karuna. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
it's just that.
No, I can see the argument that maybe he is this generation's Amol Mazumdar.
I mean, Amol, I don't even know whether he traveled with the Indian team as much. At least Ishwaran has gone to Australia, England,
Hmm.
everywhere,
He's played a lot of A
and
cricket
been,
away from
yeah,
home as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's played for India A and stuff. That time India A was
Hmm.
not even there. Hardly
Hmm.
some board presidents 11 would be there when a team
Hmm.
came visiting, and maybe
Yeah.
Amol would get a few chances here and there. But yeah.
Yeah. No, I can see what
So I
you're
think
trying
we
to say.
should we can't end it without talking about Gus Atkinson. I thought he was the
Absolutely.
most impressive bowler on the day. What did
Yeah.
you make of him?
Yeah, he bowled really well. And I think I actually did follow quite a bit of the English summer, like not ball to ball as such, but I did see
Mhm.
what the games were happening, and I was watching what Gus Atkinson was doing last season. So he had a really good opening season to the start. Like his Test career really took off. He also scored 100 and took 5 wickets in one match. I think it was at Lords, if I'm not wrong, versus Sri
Yeah,
Lanka. So
he did it before Ben Stokes, so
clearly he's the better player then.
he's the better player.
No. So Gus
Mm, mm,
Atkinson, yeah, absolutely
mm,
brilliant from him today. So today he gets two
mm,
wickets and he gets Jaiswal,
mm,
and then he
mm.
gets the wicket of who's the other guy? Why am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Dhruv Jurel, the ball that bounced up. Yeah. So he got one
Yeah,
left-hander,
yeah.
one right-hander. One was a good
Mm.
length ball, one was a short of a good length ball that sort of rose up. And Jurel probably played a bad shot to that. But even then, when you look at his economy rate, I think that is the critical bit here because overall, otherwise the match has been at about 3 runs per over, roughly, a little more than that. But then again, then again, Gus Atkinson has been bowling really well. Nobody has been able to score off him, and I think England will be really happy if he is able to be fit, and maybe in the Ashes he's going to be an important player for them.
And you are becoming a proper England fan now. You're looking at the Ashes when this Test match is still going on, and he has to do a carry job here. You know,
Yeah,
there's no Chris Wokes. He'll have to shoulder a lot of the burden now. Gus
yeah,
Atkinson.
for sure.
I mean, I also thought he was the most impressive bowler on show. He was
Yeah,
the most consistent. He asked the most questions. He kept the batsman like honest, what you call. So, but yeah, I think he'll have to do a massive. Carry job for them, because Josh Tongue and Jamie Overton were really not looking like,
not
okay, even if Josh Tongue produces two magic balls in the second innings and gets 2 or 3 wickets, but the thing
hmm,
is he's going to leak a lot of runs on either side of it. He's going to allow batters to settle on either side of it. So
hmm,
basically England need Gus Atkinson to just do it. Maybe
power
another
through.
Lord's
Yeah,
like
they need him to power
performance.
through this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually,
Yeah.
when I googled his
Mm,
name up just to see,
mm,
so what happens is that there is a tweet by BBC which says that Gus Atkinson says he would be surprised if Chris Wokes plays any further part in the game after a nasty looking injury. So
mm.
I think that
Yeah.
is going to cause issues for them for sure.
It is, it is. So, do we have anything else to cover in the test? Of course, we do. It's that no matter what happens, Kuldeep Yadav is not going to play by now. We have also
This is
resigned
just
ourselves to that fact. So,
I think it is crazy that everything has happened, but Kuldeep Yadav has not played a single test match. Now I'm trying to think,
no,
I
and
had this thought that maybe they will not play him at home either now.
look, you know what? If Gambhir really wants bowlers who can bat, and you can't argue against Akshar Patel's record at home, like
Hmm,
who's to say that it's not
exactly. So they will go
Akshar
with
coming
six
in? Uh,
Jadeja,
yeah,
7 Washi, 8 Akshar. They will do this. Kuldeep
and
Yadav will again end up missing out. Oh man,
before every
that's
single test, we have said Kuldeep Yadav should play. He is a wicket-taking bowler. He should, especially if there's no Jasprit Bumrah, we
yeah.
need Kuldeep Yadav in the 11. And it's like we say it before every test, and every test he gets ignored. Now, if he gets ignored in the home test, then we have to start like a website, register your protest for kuldeepyadav.com or something, and we'll sort of tell everyone, please go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need Kuldeep to play at some point.
So someone is saying that three spinners on this pitch, but maybe you could just pick him instead of another batter, right? Like maybe instead of Karun, or now Karun has gotten runs, but I'm just saying that any one batter who if they've gotten Karun for Shardul Thakur, right? While I do agree with that in a sense that with Shardul they were probably just being like, okay, we'll get some batting depth, we'll get a bit of bowling, but it was not a bit of a bits and pieces selection if I can call it that. But I still thought that is relatively the more attacking move as compared to going with another batter. So now essentially India just have three pacers and now they have two spinners. Both of their spinners are doing a holding job, right? They are not. Washu of course has shown glimpses of being a wicket taker with like he gets that drift and he's gotten wickets at a few critical times in this series for sure. But then again, I think with just the three pacers on this wicket, India would also need to have Siraj and Akashdeep really stepping up with Prasid, at least putting in a performance where he doesn't go for loads of runs at least, or takes a lot of wickets. So
This cosmic nomads comment, I think, is okay, but this pitch, Kuldeep, it's true. I actually sort of agree, but it's just the existential angst of 5 tests coming out with that we have not seen Kuldeep Yadav play. So logically, it is true that on this
no, I
pitch,
get that
maybe this is the pitch that it made least sense to play him, but this was
exactly.
also the last opportunity to play him. So we are just lamenting that. We
No,
are
no, no,
not.
I can see that. But even now, I feel, especially with Washington Sundar, that he can bat, right? He has shown enough now that he can bat in the top seven. So I don't see any issue with Kuldeep Yadav playing instead of another batter. Because India's batting
Yeah.
was not really the issue in this series. Their batting has been fine. They're scoring runs. I don't really see why they need so much batting depth all the time. And especially with, they removed Shardul. So instead of him, I think it would have been an easy, upgrade if they just got in Kuldeep Yadav. Personally, I think. Even on this pitch, even if, he's not going to be very, probably not the sort of wicket for him in particular, but I, this, We have been
No,
saying this the entire series. It's over now. We can't do anything about it.
it's over. Yeah, we can't do
It's
anything.
over.
That's as good a note as any to end it. What do you think?
Yeah. Completely agree.
I once made a pair in a club game, which is almost impossible to do. But I've been obsessed with batting my entire life. And so I put that into my new book, The Art of Batting. Being that I'm not very good at that skill, I decided to talk to other people who were. So I hit up as many contacts as I could just to talk about batting. Rahul Dravid, Brian Lara, A.B. de Villiers, Kumar Sangakkara, Ross Taylor, Susie Bates, Nasser Hussain, Ian Chappell, and so many, many, many more. I wanted batters to talk about how they and their friends made runs, because that is the art of batting.